Hello everyone, my name is Sam Mead and I'm going to show you how to use Prezi. It is a presentation website. It is like a PowerPoint presentation on steroids, and you can have the presentation do really fun things, and I find that my students are very engaged when I use Prezi presentations as opposed to standard PowerPoint presentations. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the Prezi in my browser. I prefer to use Google Chrome, but you can use whatever you like. This is my dashboard. You'll see that I have my own account, and when you go onto Prezi.com, you are going to have to create your own account. They have different options. You can create an account under student or teacher or business. I personally created one under teacher because I am one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the basic way to start a new Prezi and to kind of give you a feel of what a Prezi looks like. So you're going to go to create a new Prezi. Looks like it's going to take a second here to load. Okay, so now that this has popped up, these are various templates that you can use off the bat, and you can just add your own information to them. You can see that these presentations are already a little bit different than a standard PowerPoint presentation. They're not just separate pages that you click next to. It's one entire page, and then the Prezi presentation, as you click next, it will zoom in or zoom out or go into one of the extra little circles. So what you can do is you can either click on one of the pre-made templates if you find one that you like, or you can create your own Prezi by clicking Start Blank Prezi. For this purpose, because we're beginners here, I'm going to already click a Prezi that already has a template. I personally like this one for what I'm going to create. So you're going to go ahead and click the template and do Use Template. And then the template will pop up. You'll see that there are graphs, and this is where you create your Prezi, and you can have these types of circles go anywhere across, alright? And these circles are what your Prezi will zoom into as you are presenting your presentation. So this is where you just get started. So let's say, for instance, if I'm doing a Vietnam unit with my students, I might say presidential decisions during the Vietnam War. And there were several presidents that were involved in the Vietnam War, so this template works out perfectly because each of these different circles can represent one of those different presidents. So for instance, in this main circle, I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Text, and my main circle will just be about the Vietnam War. And for my particular unit, my students already are aware of the Vietnam War and what we have been discussing. So in this initial circle, as you see it zoomed in, I would just do a bullet point summary of what we've discussed. So I can talk about the use of technology and gases in warfare. I can talk about the anti-war movements at home. I can talk about specific events that occurred, like the My Lai massacre, etc. And this basically is just going to give my students a refresher of what we've been talking about. So from here, what I'm going to do is you'll notice there's a little number next to each of the circles. And what that is basically is that tells you the order in which your Prezi is going to go. So the first thing you're going to see is this. You see where the 1 is. They're going to see the presidential decision during World War I and the basic Prezi. And then the next one they'll see is 2, which, as I showed you, is this initial circle. And so if you look over here, you'll see that it says 3, and that's where they're going to go next. And it's going to zoom into the circle. So in this circle, I can talk about the first president. Well, technically it's President Truman, but my students are going to start with President Eisenhower and his decisions towards the Vietnam War. So in here, I would just add what he did during his presidency, his difficult decisions, and how he decided to go about the Vietnam War. So from there, you'll notice there's a third circle that says number 4. And in here, if I wanted to get rid of the text, I could, and I could add an image instead. So I don't necessarily have a picture of Truman, but I do have several pictures of the Vietnam War. So for instance, I could include this photo, and then I could make it larger, and that could be what they see in that circle. Okay. So then I'm going to move on. I'm going to zoom out here. And then I'm going to go to the next circle, which is circle number 4. Oh, so this little one was circle number 4, so we're going to go to circle number 5, which is where I would put my next president, which was President Kennedy. And same here, I would add text, what his decisions were, etc. And then here as well, I might as well add an image of President Kennedy since I already have one. And plus, students like to see the different images. You can also include a YouTube video that you can click on within the Prezi to have them watch a YouTube video if there's something specific you want to see, like a speech. So then after this, and so now you can kind of see how it goes. So then in each circle, you just add the different information for the different topics that you want your students to know about, etc. And then the same here would be my last president. And that is the very, very basic version of how that would look. So then you would click Present. And this is what it's going to look like when you click through the next ones. I'm going to zoom into the Vietnam War. It'll zoom into President Eisenhower and his photo. Zoom out and into Kennedy, Johnson, his 2 individual circles, which I did not add anything to for the sake of time. And then my last president, Nixon, and back to the original president. And that's that. That is a very basic, simple tutorial on how to create a president.